We are back this week with more huge updates from HighLevel. One's very, very pertinent to the mortgage industry. Stay tuned for this week's weekly breakdown coming right up. All right, we're back this week, guys. We've got more updates for you. Specifically, we're starting out with the email campaign builder and a new functionality that you have, which is the ability to specify reply to emails on an individual campaign basis. So this isn't going to be a huge groundbreaking change for a lot of you guys. However, I wanted to use this opportunity to plug the amazing email builder inside of HighLevel. Also to plug the weekly breakdown email. If you're not receiving that, then make sure that you click the link, should be in the description of this video if you're watching this on YouTube. Otherwise, comment if you want to be able to subscribe. We'll get you set up, right? So basically, this is the email campaign builder. What is this new setting, this new functionality that we have? Well, before, when you're specifying reply to emails, you could only do it at the account level. It's either going to be the user that the contact is assigned to them, or if there's no user assigned to that contact, then the reply to email is going to be inherited from whatever you have the setting set inside your location, inside the account. Well, now you have the ability to specify and to change this on an individual campaign basis. So I don't have a specific example of how this is going to benefit a loan officer right away. If you're using the email builder, if you're using campaigns, then you're probably, this is either clicking for you or it's not. This is either going to benefit you right away or it's not. But the way to access this, really easy. Set a custom reply to email address for this campaign. Boom, you set it right here. So this would be super valuable if you have multiple LOs inside of an account, if you're trying to run a marketing campaign on behalf of a real estate agent or a partner of some sort. So anyways, check that out. Reply to, now you have the ability to specify that at the campaign level. All right, next up, we've got a really exciting update to the reputation management functionality. And now when I was going through this, it kind of dawned on me that I haven't really dove into reputation management with in any weekly breakdown up to this point. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to show you guys the reputation management functionality. Now, some of the built-in reputation management functionality we don't use really, specifically the invitations, using review invitations and automating those. We kind of build out our own custom review request workflows, right? Our own flows through the workflow functionality. However, there's some cool stuff in here, but what we're going to cover today, we're going to talk about widgets. All right, so a widget is something that you can use to demonstrate your reviews on your website, right? Your live reviews that are coming directly from Google, from Facebook, wherever you're getting reviews from. This new widget functionality is now, you have the ability to create a carousel. So you have the ability to create a rotating scroll, essentially, of reviews on your website. You can define the maximum number of reviews that you want to show. You can define what rating you want to show. So if you only want to show your 5-star reviews, you can. I don't know how long that piece is going to last, honestly. I'm pretty sure that this would be against Google's terms of service. Not 100% sure. Whatever. If you want to use it, cool. Personally, we don't really think that you need to. If you have good enough reviews, you don't need to limit it to only showing 5-star reviews. But you can specify your review source so that it's only your Google pages, only your Facebook pages, whatever it is. Content, right? Change your headings, change your descriptions, change what shows up in this, right? Total review count, all of this stuff. All of this is customizable. A dark theme. If you have a dark themed website, you can change the colors of all of this stuff. So anyways, if you are, if you want a cool way to show reviews on your website, I highly recommend this, especially if you have a lot of Google My Business reviews. Google is just a very a very reputable source. So Google reviews are going to be taken seriously. So if you can find a way to demonstrate those, i.e. with this, with your review carousel here, you're doing good. So anyways, that's the review carousel. Check it out. All right, next up is an update to the proposals functionality, specifically like what we call your DocuSign replacement. So now you have the ability to specify a custom from name and email address for the documents that you send out for signature. You can't specify this on the individual contract level yet, or at least from what I could tell. The way that you're going to access this is under documents and contracts. Now, if you're using HighLevel as a partner of Empower, then you have something that's called Document Manager. Whereas if you have your own HighLevel instance, or you have like an unchanged HighLevel instance, then you're going to see this as, I believe it's payments. Yeah, payments. And you're going to have a lot more tabs across here. So just to highlight that difference, I like to show you a little bit of both to make sure that those that are watching this that aren't using Empower's instance, they still get the benefit of this, right? So that said, going in here, how do you change this? Just go to settings, configure email sender, put your name in, put your email address. And if you don't do this, then it's going to default to the user that is assigned to the contact. And so if there's no user assigned to the contact, not sure what it's going to do. But if you want to make sure you know what it's going to do, just specify it right here. And every one of your DocuSigns will go out from that from name and email address. All right, next up is it's like a new settings section. You didn't before. This was just called pipelines, and you only had the ability to edit your pipelines here. Now this is called opportunities and pipelines. So if this looks new, it's because it is. And the reason why is because now we actually have some settings to configure opportunities. Specifically, they rolled this out for the ability to allow different owners of contacts and their opportunities. So being able to say, hey, the person who owns this contact is this person. However, the person who owns the opportunity is this person. Where is this going to come into play? Think processing a loan. Okay. So if you have an opportunity pipeline that is like your loan process, you can assign the opportunity to your loan processor, but the contact would continue to be assigned to you. What does that mean? That means when you send out communications, it's going to be sent from you and not necessarily from the processor, unless the processor specifies that they're sending that information. That's the immediate, LOA processor, whatever. It's more likely an LOA if they're not, if they're inside of here. But regardless, okay, an assistant or processor in any like fulfillment capacity, you now have the ability to be able to create a fulfillment pipeline where your fulfillment partner can have ownership of that opportunity, but it won't influence the ownership of the contact and won't change how communication comes across from you. So cool functionality, definitely, especially for our more advanced users. How do you access this? Just go into opportunity and pipeline settings, and then you can just turn this on and off. These ones right here, remember, we now have followers for contacts and followers for opportunities, which allows you to almost like share ownership, kind of, where, but it really isn't. It isn't full ownership sharing. Specifically, we found out that like you don't get text message notifications if you're following a contact. So that kind of stuff. So, however, followers are cool. What it does allow you to do, it allows you to like share. Let's say you want to share a login information with a real estate agent partner. You could make them followers of your contacts or followers of your opportunities without actually giving them ownership of those, which means, again, you get the benefit of being able to send communications out from you, the owner of the contact, while also sharing information with somebody else that should have access to that. All right, so that is opportunities and pipelines, the ability to allow different owners of contacts and their opportunities, all found under our new settings section, opportunities and pipelines, replacing previously what was just pipelines. All right, next up, a really exciting update for a lot of people. HighLevel now supports full two-way sync inside of Outlook. So this means if a contact is inside your account and you have your account linked up to your Outlook, you should be able to see all outbound and inbound communications logged in the conversation history of that contact. Previously, this was available with Gmail, but it was not available with Outlook. With Outlook, it was kind of like a half two-way sync where you had the ability to to track conversations that were initiated inside of HighLevel, but you didn't necessarily have the ability to track any conversations that were initiated outside of it. So it wasn't really a true two-way sync, right? Now this is true two-way sync. I already have a client that I've enabled this with. I'm hoping to hear some feedback by the end of the day, if not tomorrow. So I'll let you guys know if there's anything to be like worried about, considering that they already have this down to enabling in 6 days and it was just announced. I'm sure they tested the hell out of this. Weird. This says live in 13 days. Well, that's confusing. I don't know exactly what that means. But anyways, we can enable it here. We don't use Outlook, so I don't really have a need to. Boom, I'll do it so that you see what that looks like. But really isn't going to benefit us. But we do have tons of clients and likely a lot of you guys watching this that are using Outlook, where this is going to benefit you right away. So go into Labs. Remember, you have this Labs section. Here's another plug for Labs. go in here. As you can see right now, we have everything imported except for connect multiple GBP pages to sub accounts. Again, I can do this. Doesn't matter. We don't have multiple Google business profile pages. It's not going to affect us. Now we have all of the labs enabled. We typically do and don't see any issues, but we let you know if we do see anything in here, and we'll disable and again, advise you of that so you can do the same. All right, next up, another very welcome update for organization purposes. You now have the ability to create nested folders inside of workflows. So if we go out here to our workflow list, we have folders. We only ever had one level of folders that we could go into, which is a nightmare for organization. As you can see, we have a ton of folders. We have an entire first page of folders. If we go to number 2, okay, so no, we only have one page. We have 11 different folders and a bunch that don't live inside of folders, where now we can consolidate. Maybe we only have 5 root folders, and then we go from there. What does this look like? Open it up. You just create a folder, right? You saw I already created this one subfolder, subfolder 2. You know what I didn't test is how far down the hierarchy can we go? Can we create, yep, create folder, right? Subfolder. And then you could keep going, right? So kind of cool. I expect the interface to show each layer of this at some point. Right now, it only shows you the one that you're in. I expect to see like an entire chain of that at some point, but we'll see. Another cool update, like I said, specifically for workflow organization. All right, last up, an update that is going to have massive implications. Where like the implications for a lot of loan officers are not going to be known, seen, or felt right away. But guys, this is huge, and it's the ability to create custom code actions inside of a HighLevel workflow. This basically unlocks whatever functionality that you could want to do, guys, because from a software development standpoint, right, from my understanding, which is, I mean, I wouldn't say expert level, but it's fairly extensive for somebody who doesn't consider themselves a programmer. But what this allows us to do is you can have entire code bases that live off of HighLevel, right? So you have an entire program that runs in the cloud, and using these actions, you can invoke those. You can basically interact with those programs and essentially integrate this with whatever you would want. Now, that is one really like high level functionality of that. The other component of this though is for a lot of people, they're never going to have that big code base built out, right? But they might have a very specific function, a very specific action that needs taken that they're limited to, or they need to integrate with this platform. And it's the only reason that I need to integrate with this platform. The only reason I need to use Zapier. This gives us way more flexibility to be able to say, hey, here's a kind of an edge case, but it's an edge case worth solving for because it saves us X, Y, and Z. It saves us time, it saves us money, whatever it is. And now we can make that vision a reality. Super simple to either use ChatGPT. I shouldn't ChatGPT, you know, for those of you with no tech background, it might be tough to implement this, but fairly simple if you have any sort of tech background. And then same thing, this is also going to make it a lot easier to contract out some of these like advanced functionalities that you guys want inside of your workflow. So this is really cool. Again, not something that a lot of you are going to see right away and be like, yes, this is what we're going to do with it. But I just want you to know this is really exciting. This is something that will have an impact on every single one of you, even if we don't know exactly what that is yet. All right, guys, that is it for this week's weekly breakdown. It was a doozy. I've got no updates that didn't require screen sharing. So this is going on 3-4 weeks, maybe even 5 weeks that we've been doing the screen share. Feedback has been awesome. Keep it coming. Let me know if you guys have any questions that arise out of any of these screen shares. We'd love to hear from you. But until next week, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the top.